happens to people when the only relationships they get into are hookups?
You know, so sometimes the first time sex or intercourse, you're right, can lead to such a deep connection. If it isn't just sex, if you really discover you're making love with the soul, there's a oneness we experience when we are deeply hooked up that is out of our body in spirituality, and yet the opposite extreme is true. It's just physical. And so I've learned, I like your statistics because it helps me say that one of the things I've learned that every relationship needs, either before it becomes sexual, or at least even if it started there to get deeper, is to, I like this triangle I learned in one session with the word intimacy at the top. Draw a little triangle, and power in the lower corner and sex in the lower corner. And so if we want to maximize our intimacy, and at this moment I mean non-sexual intimacy, I mean deep spiritual connection, we need in every relationship to try to see what it's like to connect most intimately with no power over or under one another and no sexual expression or even energy. And by doing that, even with my most intimate lover, we have a connection far deeper that fills this triangle with an intimacy, after which, when you add the amazing joy, what our bodies can experience together, is way beyond sex. It's deep lovemaking, not sex.
So what prevents people from finding their soulmate?
It's not enough to just be attracted to the beauty of our bodies and or our personality. That's important. We live in them. It's important that there's enough of a match to work with each other. But if we're not looking beyond the superficial, which doesn't mean fake, it just means on the surface, to the real core of our soul, then we're not going to make that connection that's as deep and as intimate. Mm-hmm. And if that's all you want is a superficial, fine, that's your choice. But if you're really looking for a soulmate, you got to go way beyond
the chemistry.
The chemistry,
yeah.
And that's right.
Lots of people talk about keeping it real, right? I have to admit that I find being 100% myself all the time isn't always that easy. What do you guys think?
You know what is the most helpful thing in my experience is when my partner is 100% honest with herself and what she's feeling. And as strange as it sounds, the greatest gift I've ever learned in relationship is that the most amazing intimacy, love connection, sexuality has always come by my feeling, hearing, understanding what you, my partner, are feeling and honoring that. I call it less wins, or less is more, but it goes both directions. If either of us in that moment isn't wanting that kiss or that sexuality or whatever, then we're not going to have, either of us, the mutual connection we're really wanting. And yet it even gets better by honoring that and just staying back and giving you the space, the time to feel whatever you're feeling. What I get in return is 5 to 10 times more love, trust, openness, sensuality, and it might only take a minute and you attack me, or it might take a day. But it's better than anything I could have had by not feeling that and thinking that, oh, you're compromising by giving me something that you don't really want to give. That costs me. Yeah, sure. My partner is a professional dancer, she was, and I played tennis endlessly. Well, she plays tennis with me sometimes but can't match me. I dance with her sometimes but can't match her. And so it's a gift not only to sometimes enjoy them together, but let her go dance and let me go play tennis. Yes. And we come back and then go, I'm here now and I love you. Yeah.
So in the face of growing infidelity, so many couples cheat. What is the purpose and the point of monogamy?
I think the most important truth is that it's a choice. And without judgment about all the human diversity and all our different values. And yet my experience is that monogamy is the only way, pun intended, monogamy, to have the deepest intimacy with a partner that's a soulmate, and you know at a level of depth and intimacy that the wonderful diversity of polygamy, etc., doesn't really bring. It brings other gifts, and so it's a choice. But monogamy is really the only way to have a deep soul connection and a trust and a friendship that goes beyond any other relationship. No, it even grows. It just gets enhanced through every connection we have. In fact, Rumi has a poem about a field with no rightness and no wrongness. Will you meet me there? And I love living on my own growing edge with this most intimate partner, discovering new depths of intimacy and truth that I never even imagined possible. And that even leads literally to the sensual and sexual intimacy beyond anything else. It's making love, it's not having sex.
So we notoriously think really badly about people who cheat. But is it possible that there's something else going on other than just compulsion or pure selfishness?
Well, and even better than a choice in this case, is if there's a real conflict, is to actually trust and notice that if you love this woman enough, and if you have conceived this life out of love together, that the experience of growing this human in your body is something we can never compete with, and the love you have for growing this child is a love beyond any other love and actually shouldn't be seen as competition. So as a father myself who conceived consciously and loved watching the child grow and now loves noticing the mother love the child, every man has to get that the children come first, or if you need to hear it, it's a tie. But don't ever think of it as a competition, that her love for the child is somehow depleting her love for you. They're different loves, entirely different. Just listen to the woman's feelings.
And using that as a reason to cheat.
So when someone's in the throes of a breakup, what can they do to avoid being the crazy ex?
You know, I need to say it's not just in the moment before a potential breakup, but actually throughout the entire relationship, the ideal. In the beginning, middle, and if you're in mediation trying to wonder whether to keep it or not, this is always true. And that is the most amazing learning I've ever had, is to be able to say to one another, I hereby release you from my projection that you are the cause of my feeling this way. Why does that make sense? Think about it. Because I have felt this way before. My last relationship, I felt this way. With my sister, I felt this way. My brother, with my mother, with my father. Oh, I've had this feeling before. So yes, you triggered it. There's no denial that whatever you said or did triggered me, but triggered is different than cause. I can't blame you for my feeling this way. Another way to get that is when you do that or say that, I could laugh, I could cry, I could run, I could fight, I could shut down, I could make love. Everybody's reaction is a different reaction. So we need to own 100% responsibility for our own feelings being our own, and our own reaction to whatever the trigger is being our own. So listen to that again. I release you from my projection that you're the cause of my feelings. And guess what else? I release you from my hope and expectation that you're the solution to my needing to feel this way. Whoa. When we release that pressure and we do that mutually, we're safe, we're free. Now let's see how we can actually relate in a more intimate way. We even need to see that each relationship, especially the most intimate one, is a perfect mirror. And that everything that happens is actually an opportunity to notice what is being mirrored back, you know, that is something from which I can learn. That's about myself. No shame or blame and no judgment, just notice. And the minute we notice, even just noticing changes the energy and the consciousness within self, and then the other picks up on that.